All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Adam Baker with the National Weather Service here in Peachtree City. Thanks for joining us on short notice for this special weather briefing. All right, the main points here is that we're focused on this the system tomorrow. There's going to be several rounds that's a little bit tricky to forecast. The potential for strong to severe storms and a heavy rain flood threat is going to be the main focus with it. We'll break down the different areas and the different general time zones, but pretty much the majority of north and central Georgia is with the main threats. And it's, there could be a first wave we're looking at as early as about 8 a.m. in the morning. That's mainly for central Georgia, and then some possible redevelopment by afternoon and evening that could be expanding farther north across north and central Georgia. Here's the latest from SPC for the day 2 outlook. This was from earlier today where the slight risk was expanded a bit farther north, and then the marginal risk still for the far northern tier of the area. But the key point here is that we're actually in collaboration with SPC just within the last half hour, and it does look like they're going to upgrade to an enhanced risk across our southern third of the area. So when we send out an update email here, we'll try to get the latest counties that are covered by that. Primary threats with this whole system: damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, isolated brief tornadoes possible, large hail more likely in the afternoon, and then the ongoing heavy rain or flash flooding threat. So the first round, we're thinking it could be as early as about 8 a.m. and pushing in. We're going to start out with some fairly widespread rain showers across the cooler, more stable air mass in the northern majority of the area. But then we're watching this warm front that's going to be lifting farther north. So that's the key focus for the earlier part where it's a little bit more unstable. And you can see on this one model depiction, there's quite the spread in some of the model guidance that we have. But our best thinking right now is that there's going to be this initial wave of stronger possible severe storms with a broken line or two that come in across west central Georgia earlier. And then the main threats with this would be localized damaging winds and a few brief tornadoes. Then as that warm front lifts farther northward, we actually could have a bit of a lull in the late morning into midday. We're not very confident on this, but the key thing is that by this time, the warm front's going to be pretty much lifted north of our area. So anywhere across our area could have essentially a bit more energy that if we can destabilize some. And then at that point, our main focus is going to be going into the afternoon and evening, where likely redevelopment is going to be aided by the upper forcing that we have. And technically with that warm front lifted north of the area, we're pretty much all in that warm sector of that developing system. And so pretty much anywhere across the area, we could have some segments of strong to severe storms. So the damaging wind threat will continue in that second or third round of development, possible tornadoes with it too, but isolated large hail is going to be an increased threat along with that ongoing flooding from heavy rain or training of storms. We do think that the storms will likely weaken as they're right along, the back front with everything that's going into this, tomorrow evening. So the last wave potentially could be weakening late in the day. So to break it down, the severe wind probabilities are pretty much where the current risk is, but we could see an increase in some of the wind probabilities once we get that enhanced risk issued. Tornado probability a bit shifted more across the central part of the area. Severe hail also looking to be a bit more shifted across central and southwestern parts of North Georgia. The rainfall, it does look like the majority, 2/3 of our area is going to have the heaviest. Anywhere south of that green line is actually in a marginal risk for excessive rainfall for tomorrow. we're looking at widespread 2 to 3 inches, locally up to 3 inches or more, as you can see depicted by that zone of red that extends from basically Columbus to Macon. So that's our main focus, is across central Georgia. So elevated flood threat is going to be for creeks and smaller streams. We're possible multiple rounds of storms, so any training or rainfall that occurs early in the day is just going to be priming the pump for the other rounds in the afternoon and evening. And then flash flooding, urban areas and low-lying poor drainage. Can't rule out something in the far north that could be flash flooding too, just given the terrain and how wet it's been with previous events. Otherwise, in summary, we are looking at multiple rounds. The general timing, we've got a lot of uncertainty with that, but we are a little bit more confident with the main morning threat being in central Georgia, and then the afternoon, evening redevelopment that could be expanding northward across the majority of the area. All right. And at this point, we're not expected for any more special briefings, but we will update you via email as conditions warrant. We will be transitioning into severe weather operations tomorrow, so look for us on the web and social media. And this briefing should be posted up. The slides should be up on our website here. And we'll be saving this to YouTube and sending out the recording here shortly.